Sure used to be a lot of Zelda 3 on my tapes. I had one other tape I've taped entirely over it now. Used to be all Zelda 3. Still trying to beat Megaman with one hand. It's July the 1st. I never even told you what date it was on that other tape, but I only had about 5 minutes on it, so I guess it didn't matter. I was just looking at Dr. Wily and his stupid looking armpit, you know? Could have sworn I'd only seen that 5 minutes ago or something. I guess I was looking at, 5 seconds ago actually, I guess I was looking at the stage select and I saw him there and I was waiting for him to lift his arm. Wow, but that sounds so stupid as I'm talking. My mouth's in here. It sounds like I'm chewing. Actually, I'm eating Pop-Tarts. Or Toastums. Little chocolate kind. When we were at Max's house, Max gave me some. They were blueberry. They were yucky. So we took a walk out in the forest, and I still had a lot of them left, so I took off pieces at a time and threw them into the forest. And gave them to the ants. Something like that, yeah. You know, we got a place back behind our house, you know, Prosh, I was telling you about. That place is bug-free, man. Alright. Thank you. Trying to kill that big guy, you know, I had to shoot him twice with the ice. Shoot him twice with the ice. Lake Lanier. You remember Lake Lanier? That was a fun place to go to. I got this ride called the Intimidator. I haven't gone on it yet. I don't know if I want to anymore. Mary says the Intimidator is more scary than the Cannonball. If anything's more scary than the Cannonball, I'm probably not going to go on that. You know, when we were at Opryland, after I got off that Cannonball, I said, now I'm ready to go on the Intimidator. See, that was then. Now this is now. I don't feel like I want to go on it anymore. You can go on it right after you've been on something like the Cannonball, but when it's been a long period of time, you know, your courage wears off. But of course, what can I prove by going on it? Judgment is a sin anyway. Who cares if I'm good? Who cares if I'm bad? Showing off doesn't prove anything, really. It's not good, it's not bad, it's just there. Whether you're good or not doesn't matter. But then what I try to do is I try to do this card trick, because I want people to tell me that I'm good. But it really doesn't matter whether you're good or not. Who cares? I mean, it was okay to let her do that card trick in front of them instead of me doing it, you know? I don't care if they tell me I'm good, that doesn't mean I am good. It's what God thinks that matters. And I just gotta keep that in mind whenever somebody else wants to do something that I want to do. Like when I'm showing off and stuff. My mom says I'm good at Tetris, it doesn't mean I'm the best person in the world or anything. I don't think I'm the best person in the world just because I can do a card trick good either, so if I can't be the best person in the world because of that, I might as well not do it. I guess that's why I gave up so easily. I'm trying to fight this rock monster with one hand. It's not going to be very easy. See, I can't do it that good. I make high jumps. There's a part where two of them come at you at the same time. So I better get out my electricity. He's got more hits in on me than I do on him. He's already gotten 2 blows on me, and I've only gotten half a blow on him. Each one requires 7 blows. I got away from him that time. Free shot. Of course, I gotta keep in mind that even when we both have 6 blows, he's gonna get his opportunity first. He always gets the first shot at you. You know, I gotta keep ahead of him so that I won't die. See, right now, I've only got a half a blow on him, so I only have to get 8 blows, whereas he only needs 7. He's got exactly 3 blows left. I got 2.5, which means I'm gonna have to hit him 3 times with this electricity. Now I got 1.5. I'm doing better. Well, it works better just to jump straight up when you're using one hand, you know, instead of trying to do all these fancy maneuvers. But I don't want to linger on that subject, and I don't want to waste all my electricity now that he's only got half a blow left. I can just finish him off with a regular old Megaman bullet. Oh, no, wouldn't you know it, he puts his eye way up there where you can't reach it. He's probably going to do it again until he kills me. And he could if he wanted to, if he knows that I can't hit him when he's up there. You'd think he'd learn. See, that's what's so dumb about this. But, of course, then again, you know, I mean, if it was realistic, it would be awfully hard, and it would be awfully frustrating. The course of life is frustrating in itself. Well, second stage. When you beat a game with one hand, you're not allowed to continue in my book. If I'm going to beat a game with one hand, I'd rather do it without continuing. And I did it with Contra yesterday. I'd been doing Contra all day yesterday. I was trying to beat it with one hand. I couldn't get by the waterfall. The boss tore me up every time. And then last night, I just zipped right on through it. Came to that boss with a spread gun. I tore him up. I didn't even lose a man through the first 4 stages, and all of a sudden you're playing it with one hand for. And then I played Tetris, started on level 19, and got 107 lines. But it's like, who cares, you know? I mean, it doesn't matter whether I'm good or not. I have to keep that in mind. Once again, I'm trying to draw a judgment. I'd rather. God, this guy's jumping too much. Stupid cut, man. God dang, he's just sitting there jumping all over the screen. Now, there's something frustrating me. Couldn't figure out what it was. It turns out to be something so simple. You know, you don't, oh man, you don't think about these games when you do it. I lost a 1-up. Shot that thing and he dropped the 1-up into the pit. I wish I had the Super Nintendo here. I should have just went ahead and decided to go home with Dad instead. You know, I guess it would have been worth it. Oh man, I've lost this one already. You have to fight your twin brother or something. They make a twin of Megaman. He's more powerful. And take more pain. I only got 2 blows. I gotta give him about 16. Well, 14. Try to guard him bozo, but it ain't gonna work. I used 3 shots, and all they gave me was something that would give me back 2 shots in my electricity, but I don't want to linger on that subject, or else this tape will be boring, because that's what makes them boring. If I keep on lingering on this subject, I'll... Shoot. I wish I could get some funnier burps. Well, we're doing pretty good so far. We're the boss of the 3rd stage of Dr. Wily. These bubbles here. It'd be funny if I was grown up and I was trying to think of all the bosses on Mega Man. This is the only one I couldn't think of, and then I'd be lucky enough to listen to a private tape where I told you. I also say the rules for this, switching hands is okay too, but I can't picture myself using my left hand to play this thing. My dad might be able to, but I don't know about me. I wonder how it turns out there's so many more right-handed people than there is left-handed. Kind of like Dad has this paper with all these weird questions on it. One of the questions is a comedian asked one time, why don't they have any size B batteries? I guess I can turn this TV up now. I should listen to some of this music. It's not really anything good, you know. Super Nintendo music's a heck of a lot better. There's some things of music on this thing that are okay. You know, like the Bomb Man music. It's one of my favorite musics. I haven't even listened to that tape that I just finished. Oh man. And I try to get on the elevator and it passes me again. What a rip. The thing was about to disappear. Now this is going to be hard. Trying to beat all 4 of these guys without having to lose the men and continue. If I can just beat Bomb Man without getting hit, that's fine. Fireman's going to be the hard part. He's always been the hardest robot to fight. I don't know if anybody's ever beat him without getting hit. I'm sure somebody around here has. It's really hard though. I mean, he's constantly shooting at you. And Fireman on Game Boy is a wimp. Well, he's not a wimp. He can take a lot, but he just doesn't shoot the way he does on this one. He doesn't have all the fire that appears on the ground, because that's what gets you. But, of course, I don't want to make this whole tape talking about Mega Man. You know, I already have made enough of it talking about it. Shoot, I wish I could have a burp like I had earlier on this adventure tape, you know? When I thought, look at it! The loudest burp of my life. What's that outside? It's probably Regina. She does nothing but stay around outside all day. I don't know how she can handle all that hot weather. Well, I'm in the final fight with one hand. This is not bad, getting this far. I don't know if I've ever attempted to beat this game with one hand or not before, but I think I have one time. I beat this game in one life, and I've beat it now. I'm fixing to beat it now with one hand. I beat Control with one hand, and I also beat it in one life, but Metroid is the only game that I can play with one hand and beat in one life without having to use a password, you know, or continuing. You know, I had this dream last night, when me and Dad and Mary were walking, well, I don't know if Mary was there or not, I can't remember. It was like she was half there or something. It was weird. We were walking through Ingalls, and all of a sudden I heard the boss music on Zelda 3. Sorry that tape ran out like that. It really torqued me off, too. If you're listening to this side first, this is the wrong side. Turn the tape over. I'm still trying to beat Mega Man with one hand. Golly, I had Dr. Wily down to one last thing. Oh my... Oh, yeah, that's right. I was fixing to say, I've only lost one man so far in this thing, and now that's 2. It didn't matter whether I got all in 1-ups or not. I guess I could play around with it and then get serious on my last man, you know. Get used to this one taking a while. But anyway, I was talking to you about that dream that I had. It was like me and Dad and Mary were at Ingalls, and, well, Mary was kind of half there, you know. heard the Zelda 3's boss music going. I went in and somebody had made it to the sandworms. And they were trying to get the second pendant, and then they just gave up, and I went in there and beat them. And then I went on to the tower here and got the third pendant. And it was funny because usually in your dreams things don't look the way they're supposed to, but on the third floor it was one of that room where there's 3 pits and the 3 blue things that you gotta hit a million times to kill. The big mold worm at the end of level 3, you know, giant worm. He was real itty bitty. He was harder to beat, and I hit him about 6 or 7 times, and then he got a little bit faster, and I hit him the 8th time, and he died. Usually I only have to hit him 6 times. I had to hit this one 8 times. I don't know what it was about him. It was really weird. It wasn't that... Well, yeah, he is yellow in the background. It's blue, but I saw him. He was just a blur of white, and the background was just a blur of yellow, blue, black. Some colors here and there. What other dreams did I have? I had... the weirdest part of the dream was after we left, all of a sudden we were in Mom's Oldsmobile. And all 4 of us were reading the Bible. We were listening to some song. I can't remember what it was. It's only been an hour since I was asleep, and I still can't remember what it was. And then while we were sitting in the car reading the Bible, I was only on like the middle of Genesis, and Mary was only in Genesis, and Steve was somewhere in Exodus, somewhere or something. I looked over, and Mom was in this chapter called... Holy crap. Anyway, I looked up, and Mom was reading the Bible, and she was on this chapter called Zircle Circle. It wasn't spelled Z-I-R-C-L-E. It was spelled Y-I-R-C-L-E. That's how you spelled Zircle. But anyway, she was... I don't know where I came up with the idea of Zircle Circle. That's the weirdest name for a chapter of the Bible I think there ever has been. And in my dream, I really believed that there was a Zircle Circle. But there is no chapter in the Bible called Zircle Circle, so... And it was funny because Zircle, Y-I-R-C-L-E, it looked like it only had 5 letters, but what letter would I leave out and still read it as Zircle? And why would I look at it and say Zircle if it was spelled with a Y instead of a Z? It's just the weirdest dream, you know. Something I thought I'd tell you about. Well, I finished Megaman. I didn't realize how much pressure should be on me, but I was trying to beat him with like a fire. Finally got him. This stupid hamster over here has chewed out 2 of our water bottles now. You know, he gave me one of those little glass water bottles, kind of like the test tubes that you see in science, you know. Well, you fill it with water, then you put the tube in the bottom of it. He chewed that right off, and the tube came right off, and the water came spilling out of the thing and wetted the shavings. So we took out the shavings and replaced him. And we gave her one of these big water bottles like most of the other hamsters got, like Sam, and Samson is the only one that doesn't have one now. She sat there and chewed on it until it finally broke and fell off the cage, and now it's got a big hole in it and there's no water. Well, anyway. You know, one game that's going to be really hard to beat in one life is Yo-Noid. That game, I will tell you what, I don't think I've ever gone through that game without almost running out of continues. And you see this right here, I'm trying to beat it with one hand, I'm not going to continue. If I have to continue, I'm just going to start over. I know I've beat Zelda 2 in one life, and I hate to waste my time, but I think I'm going to do it again. But you see, I know Steve's going to be coming home on his lunch break in about 2 hours. I know it's going to take me more than 2 hours to beat that stupid game. I think I ought to try to beat Mega Man 3 next. In one life, you know. It's going to be hard enough to beat it with one hand, you know, but Mega Man 3, that's a hard game, because it's not that people hit you and kill you fast. It's that thing like, well, yeah, I guess that's it, basically. But part 3, you have to use Rust Jet. You always run out of energy and junk. I don't know, it's not really that bad in the first few stages. Dr. Wily's castle ain't nothing. But, it's like the 4 stages that they do in between where you have to fight the robots on Mega Man 2. I don't know what happened to that game. It used to be, it belonged to a boy named George back in Mary's school. He let Mary borrow it, and she let me borrow it. And I let Josh borrow it. I don't know what he did with it. Now Janice is moving away, so I don't know what we're going to do now. Might as well spend our time at Mom's house if we can't have company over once in a while, you know. Like every day or something. I mean, I can call Max and let him come over, but he's not going to be able to come over like even every week or so. I mean, that's too rare for me. I mean, Coming over 2 hours a day is not enough for me if we don't have somebody to make us look busy so we don't get put to work. But anyway, well, I guess I better switch to the Nintendo game that's been sitting here. I'm sure it would take me a long time. I don't know if that's going to wake Mary up or not. I don't know if she's listening to me from behind the recliner or what. But of course, if she's not there, she's never going to know that I was wrong anyway. Well, the sooner I get started, the more likely I am to get through the game before Steve gets here on his lunch break. And you see, Zelda 2 is so boring compared to Zelda 3, so it's not going to be that fun. And of course, we got other games down here, but most of them are either stuff like Super Mario Brothers that are so boring you couldn't play them at all. And most of them are like Dr. Mario and Tetris and stuff like that. And golf, you know, you don't beat those kind of games with one man because you don't really have a man at all. You just do the best that you can. Get the highest score or lowest score that you can. And then Dracula's Curse, that, I don't know, it's just boring compared to Castlevania 4. You know, Castlevania 4 doesn't even have a subtitle. You know, it's Castlevania 1. Then it says Castlevania 2, Simon's Quest. Castlevania 3, Dracula's Curse. And then Castlevania 4. What comes after Castlevania 4? They don't have a subtitle for Castlevania 4. But, of course, I don't really care about that. It's a game that counts, and Castlevania 4 is pretty fun. Zelda 3 is more fun than Castlevania 4, but Castlevania 4 has better graphics. Everybody's saying that Zelda 3 gets a perfect 5 in graphics. It has pretty good graphics, but on the map screen, they don't even zoom in. They just skip it, you know. You see either the big map screen or the little map screen. Nothing in between, you know, scaling or anything. And I was almost positive that they did that, because they do it on Castlevania 4, you know. Might as well go back. You can make a game just that good with a regular Nintendo. Except for the scaling part at the beginning. And they do use a lot of color layering, too, so that's pretty good. Most of the stuff that they use the best graphics on are the monsters. Of course, I'm always complaining about Super Mario World, all these itty-bitty Koopa kids that you gotta fight. Look at Zelda 3, there's only two or three, there's only 2 monsters that you find on that thing that are more than 3 by 3 inches. The boss of the first crystal, and then the boss of the 7th crystal. The Armos Knights, there's 6 of them, but they're all alike, and they're just real, you know, they're not itty-bitty, they're pretty fun. And the Sandworms, they just, I don't know, just long things. And then the worm at the end of level 3, that one's pretty good. That's got pretty good graphics. They ought to make them get real big, you know. Once again, if they can do it, they ought to. It wouldn't take that long, I don't think. You know, I haven't even gotten my new Nintendo game in yet because I can't decide what I want. Now, I got a lot of choices, but none of them are really any good. Super Mario 3 takes too long. Castlevania 3 takes too long. Zelda 2 takes too long. Alpha Mission. So boring. Clax, Tetris, Golf, and Dr. Mario, those games you can't. You're not accomplishing nothing. You're just moving blocks around. Yonoid, that's too hard. Megaman 3 takes too long. And we don't have anything else, do we? Should have brought some games back from home, you know. What's this game over? Punch-Out. You don't play that kind of game with one hand. It's just not. Well, I suppose you could, but what would count as losing a man? Getting knocked down or getting knocked totally out for a TKO, you know? Can never really judge for. I guess I'd have to judge for myself and have different rules for each game. Well, this tape is going to be pretty boring. You know, most of my tapes, I sit there and listen to them, and I think about when I first made them. I say to myself, well, golly. I mean, when I first made that tape, and then I went back and listened to it, I must have been really disappointed. I just didn't worry about whether they were boring or fun to listen to. Just being able to listen to myself talk was the best part, and just even that in itself is just a miracle. And I still haven't gotten anything started on Nintendo game. You know, I haven't decided what Nintendo game I'm going to play. I'm probably not going to play anything for a while. Probably going to watch some game shows or something. Do something else. Read Nintendo Power or something. I don't know. It's so much more fun over here in Athens when you don't have people telling you what to do. You see, Dad doesn't have a job anymore, so we never get to be home alone. You see, if it's just we get to be home alone once in a while, but it's not going to be like last summer vacation where we got to be home alone every single day and watch Secret City and have company come over and junk like that, you know. It used to be so wonderful. Dad would come home and there'd be 6 kids there, you know, and everything, and now everybody's abandoned us. First, Mark moved to his dad's house. Josh and Ashley take a real short vacation, and then they say, this is fun, so Janice leaves. And she ain't never coming back. Sitting there listening to her on Pizza Hut bragging, oh, we're going to be gone Thursday, we're going to be gone Friday, we're going to be gone Saturday, sitting there bragging about how they're going to be gone for so long, and with every day she names, that's another day that they're going to be where we're not going to have any company over at the house, and it just makes me so mad. Every time she names off a day, I cringe more and more and more. Now I find out that she's moving away, I figure, well, I might as well move to Athens if she's going to move away. Okay, no matter where we go in the entire United States, we're still going to have to spend some time in commerce if we move away. There's no way we can get away from it. There's no way we can get away from any of this. You can't run away from your problems. You have to face them. But how do you face a problem like this? How can you face a problem of shyness? You overcome it yourself, you know, but my body doesn't feel like overcoming it. My heart just doesn't feel. I don't know what it is in me that causes me to not look people in the eye. I can look myself in the eye in the mirror, and I can look Mary in the eye, but I can't look anybody else in the eye. Sometimes I look Mom in the eye, and Steve, and maybe occasionally, you know, farts. I don't know how much tape is left on this thing, but I hope there's a lot because, well, I kind of don't, you know. I mean, I don't have anything to talk about. I just wish I had the Super Nintendo here. We're going to go down to the lake house tomorrow. Christopher's going to be there, Eric is going to be there, Pat and Dennis are going to be there. They're telling us we got to be on our best behavior. I mean, we're on vacation here and we still got to be on our best behavior. See, they're saying it's going to be better for us when Pat and Dennis are around, but when Pat and Dennis are around, we have to be on our best behavior. And we're not on our best behaviors when we're home alone, so why should we be on our best behavior with Pat and Dennis? What's the difference? Why can't we just reveal the truth about ourselves? Why do we have to pretend like we're really good people and we act like this all the time? I don't see what's so good about being behaved anyway, not burping and all, you know, I mean.